So hi, this is Oliver from Lydia Care. Here is a quick video on how to use Lydia Care EMR system. It is just a starting video. First, when you log into a system, you will see this pop up here that just give you the opportunity to post a feedback to the system. So it just an area where you can just give us your issues and we can help you. So you just get past that by clicking anywhere close to that, and then what you have to go is to go to the EMR V2. Uh, this is where you get started. Um, Yes, when you come here, I'm logging as a lady called Simone. But when you come here, the first thing, this is what we call dashboard. On the side here, you have a lot of things. You can see your patient. If you click here, um, and then you see I have two patients, but you can also choose your patient from here. You can also search from here or pick from other your assigned patients here. So you can also see your schedule. If you are scheduled, Simon, this is a demo patient. Simon does have a schedule there, but you can see your schedule. But you can see your schedule for all the patients where you work. Uh, you can also here check your timesheet, and then for patient here you can see appointment. You can see a lot of other things, courses or anything, and if you have to do orientation and many other things that pertains to you. But the most important part for you is to choose your patient. We go with Carlos Maldini here, and then when you're here with Carlos Maldini, you first come to the main area. You can see the patient here. You can see your information here. But the first thing, you have a few things that you got to do. You got medication, you got treatment, you got narcotics, and you can submit your timesheet here. And on your care note area, which is down here, you can see your clinical note. You can submit your clinical note and flow sheet. So the first thing that we have to do is to check the medication part. I also want to say that you need to do medication treatment. If available, you have to do your narcotics, and you come to your care note and go down, do your flow sheet and your clinical note. These are required fields to complete. So we're going to start with the medication. You go up here, get medication here. You have two options. You have the chart or the calendar. The calendar is a little, the chart is a little particular. I will open the chart, and that will be the same with uh, um, treatment. So on the chart, you have a few options. The medication that I consider current on the chart, the medication that I do within 1 hour of the current time. That means if it is now 6:23, it is between 5:23 and 7:23. Now it is showing empty because we don't have any schedule for that period. And this is the first thing when it loads. It tells you what the law says. You got to give medication within an hour. So this is in the compliance part. Now you can also pick the shift medication, which is medication that are due within 4 hours of the current time and 4 hours of um, before the current time and after the current time. So if I click the search just to see the shift medication, um, it takes a minute to. I also want to say while it's loading that you can also naturally only choose the PRN here. If you click on this button here, it will give you the PRN medications that uh, that you can give, but as always, the PRN medication don't have a time a time setup, so you can do any time you want. So there'll be a requirement for you to put the time given on the PRN because of that. So the system load, and then you can see all the medication that are due now, that are due within the shift time is 4 hours before, 4 hours after. And then very easy. The time is already put for you that it was supposed to be given. It's 8 o'clock today. But you can do this thing. You can check one and check all of them. If you believe the time, you can also put a memo here. And then, but you can either submit individually and or submit them as a group to submit all your medication in one shot. So let me just do one. Maybe I click one and I will just submit all here. And then the system says the submission is successful. So this is another way to one way to submit your medication. And I want to say that as soon as you submit your medication, that medication brings you to the calendar so you can see. But also, when you go back to the chart, that medication is no more visible. But your submission will appear on the chart as green. This is what we just submitted. If you click on it, you can see that it's this is person who submitted and everything. So that is a part. So I send it over there and submit it on the chat as screen. But I can also, as you can see, go to the same medication here and then go to the calendar. And then on the calendar, I can also submit a medication. You can see that it won't let me submit medication for tomorrow, but I can do it for today. And I have one here today. And to submit here on the calendar, I just have to click uh, the save button here, and then as I click here, it turns green. So that means the submission has been accepted. It's the same for all the other medication. That is why we need to have your calendar green. But as you can see, if you go here for tomorrow, it won't let you do it because tomorrow is not yet here. You can't give a medication and chat for tomorrow. You have to chat within 1 hour of giving medication. So that is the same thing for treatment. We can use the calendar for treatment also, and um, we can also submit the treatment that way through the calendar or and also through the chat. So you can see that we have this one here, and then I can just click here to submit, and then it will it would turn green. So another part which is, and I'm going to close it. Another another part which is what I want to show you is how to submit a PRN. As you can see, turn green. How to submit a PRN, which is very easy. We can go back to medication, but you have to use only the chat because the calendar has scheduled medication. But on the chat, there you have to use the chat because a PRN is not scheduled. So as soon as you put the PRN and then you put the search, all PRN will come out, and then you can just submit that PRN, and it will appear a little different on the calendar when it's submitted. It has a different color. It would turn it would turn blue in that color. So as it is loaded, it usually loads a lot faster than that. But I also want to show you a few things here. Um, Naturally, you know how to put your timesheet, but the most okay, well it's already there. But the most important part we're gonna go is what we call the care notes. So now here is the PRN. You can check it or submit it here. It gives you the current time of giving as a default because you just want to give it now. It tells you if you want to use the current time. Anyway, I am giving it now, so that means I use the current time. I just click submit for this one. I want to say there's only one PRN for this patient. And then it will um, take me to the calendar, and you can see today I just come to PRN. It comes with a different color. It is blue. So that is one part of it. So let's go now with the narcotics, but as you can see, narcotics use the same principle, but I will give you a different video on how to submit, count, and the report count offs on on the narcotics. So what I want you to know is how to submit your clinical note. You just scroll a little bit down here, and then you go to care note, and then you go to clinical note, and click on clinical note here. So as you can see, there is a few clinical notes here, and there um, you have a few options. You can click here on the form to submit a new clinical note, or you can add new here. But if you and then let me just click on it. Uh, then you put the time, the shift start date, the shift end date. You put the time here. Use the current time if you use. Then maybe you can move. There's a little scrolling thing here. Maybe I finished my shift. Probably just pick a random date at 6 o'clock, and then you have to put the total hours. We'll put maybe 12, maybe 11:30 for the purpose of this. Um, you have to do 11.5 because use matrix. On the circulation, all the areas, for me, I think everything is normal for my patient. Pulmonary normal. The skin, maybe I could put them normal if needed. And then naturally the diabetes, I put not applicable patient on diabetes. And then I have to put what we call the data, action and response. They call the DACHAN data, how you found the patient. The action, what did you do during your shift, and the response is what, how did you leave the patient. And then you can write notes here on the assessment if you have any, and then you have to put the last physician um, visit, and then if you are note, and then the coordination of care with who regarding what result, and then you click on submit. Okay, so I will not go through that. It's pretty straightforward. I'll just give an counsel. But there's one feature that is very popular. It's what we call the copy. The copy of a previous one. So you can see that I can only copy the ones that are submitted. I can view this one I didn't submit it, but I can copy mine only, and I'll use this little one, say copy. That will save you a lot of time. Instead of putting in new, you can just click here. It will copy from the previous one, and then you can just make a few changes and just and submit. So that save your time a little bit because in many areas the client information doesn't change much. So this is just one that I submitted before. That was submitted on the 30th. I just changed it to today. That was submitted on the 30th of um, on the 30th of last month, the month of October. But today we are in November, and we are November the 29. So I just put November 29 on the. And then if I use the same shift, I can use a different date or anything. So I can change the date a little bit on there. Maybe another date here. Uh, yeah, maybe here. So on the same day. So they're make some little change, and then I submit as a new. It will appear as new. So if I click the submit button, um, I'm getting a brand new submission. Um, that is probably the fastest way in our industry to submit uh, a timesheet or clinical note or any form in our system. So I just did it today. It's just a copy of previous one, but I made changes so it looks good. So the final part I want to show you is the flushing. You have to do it every 3 hours. And you start by putting your you start by putting every shift you start naturally by uh, taking your vital signs, and that will come in this form. So, and you just uh, click here to submit it, and then you just go through everything, timing, timeout, and the date, and then you just go through. Many of them are required, and then after that, you just click, and then it is submitted. It's pretty straightforward. Yes, so there's just one last thing I want to show you, which is what we call the view of the form that you submitted. If you go to um, the care note again, and you go to the clinical note, and you click here, and then you can see that whenever you submit a form, it comes with what we call an electronic signature that shows that you are the one who worked, and then the signature is attached. So when you click to view a clinical note that was submitted, um, you can see, and that happens in every clinical note. Um, there is you can see that at the bottom here. It shows that it was submitted and electronically signed by the person and the submission date. So this is also very important, and then it's pretty easy to print. So that was just an introduction to the chatting on Oledia Care IT system. Okay, well, thank you.